Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard. For Spike, he loves the smell of salmon in the morning, Cohen. I am Matt Wright, and together we are traversing the muddied waters of freedom.
Thank you for joining us, everyone, tonight, Matt. Thank you so much for having me, Matt. Matt, guys, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here on this momentous occasion. To be on this show with Matt. Man, I really like this show, Matt.
I appreciate that, Colonel.
What did they tell you about me, Matt?
They told me that you murdered somebody.
Do my methods seem sound, Matt?
Out here, all methods seem sound, Colonel.
Matt, I have a joke for you, Matt. Guy goes to a talent agency with his family. The talent agent says, "What do you got for me?" He says, "I got a talent that I want to show you." And the talent agent says, "Okay, good, show it to me." Matt, he says, "Okay, let me bring in my family." He brings in his daughter. He brings in his grandmother and his wife and his little son. And man, I don't even want to tell you what happens next.
I was not sure how far you were going to go with that.
The things he does to the children, especially, Matt. Sexual things. Matt, to his own family. Makes me sick. It makes me sick. Do you know what he calls it, Matt?
The aristocrats?
He calls it the aristocrats. That doesn't even make... Why would that be an aristocratic thing? Man, it made me sick. It made me angry.
First and foremost, allow me to thank Justin for the copper that I'm drinking on today's episode.
And I'd like to thank Kroger. Kroger has delicious, purified drinking water from the drink from my mouth. Bulavanaka.
Marlon didn't sound like a Jewish grandfather from Tom Arnold.
Man, every voice I make sounds kind of like
sounds
this.
Like yeah.
It's just a little bit like they all...
Just a little bit like a Jewish grandfather.
Oh, my voice is the man, that's right. I've been practicing for hours now, and it's the best you're gonna get.
That's why Bernie Sanders is such a good fit for you.
I'm a perfect Bernie Sanders.
You are a perfect Bernie Sanders. Yeah, I was working on my Martin Sheen, but then I woke up with a cold and I realized I don't have to work that hard at it because it already put me up too octave.
Yeah. You kind of sound like it anyway. I'd like to give a shout out to my father, Harvey Cohen, for letting me borrow his dog tags to really make this ensemble work. Although you can't really see it, but there it is.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank me for letting me borrow my dog tags.
Nice. Thank you for your own service, Matt.
Thank me for my service.
At one point, I was considering doing that voice, which I'll probably go back to at times for the entire show, and then I realized something. It hurts doing that voice.
Yeah. I don't know how Brando did it for so long.
I don't know. Well, he did die, so...
True.
Probably from something throat-related, I'm sure.
So, on this date, 3 years ago, sitting in this room... Probably at this table. I don't really quite remember. This show was born.
The Muddied Waters.
Yeah, Muddied Waters of Freedom. Had its very first episode 3 years ago. Today.
3 years? Well, no, tomorrow.
No, it's today. We started the Facebook page tomorrow, but the episode aired today.
Oh.
Yeah, I went back on SoundCloud and checked.
Nice. So this is our true...
The
show's true 3-year anniversary, not just, this week is the 3-year anniversary.
Right.
This is not a good look for me, by the way.
I couldn't really tell the difference.
When I went, it's not that far away. When I went to get the bald cap, they said, "Now, do you need the makeup and all of that?" And I thought, no, I don't have that kind of commitment. And they said, "Well, do you at least want the spirit glue?" And I thought, no, I just want to put latex on the top of my head.
That would have been really funny if you had glued that to your head and then you had to do the entire show with what appears to be a swim cap from the 1950s that perhaps Corn Pop would have worn to keep the Jerry curl out of the pool.
Right. Well, this is probably what Biden looked like, so it's appropriate that I'm wearing this. And by the way, I want to apologize to everyone for this. That's supposed to look like face paint. And it doesn't.
No. I was kind of wondering what you were doing with that. It looks like a Jackson Pollock happened all over your face. And
it looks like I'm some kind of weird alien, and I'm sorry. I tried. I spent way too much time on that. I spent the better part of like 4 hours trying to figure out how to make that work. And it turns out you can't.
No.
You can't. So other than actually taking a picture of myself in
face paint.
And that was going to happen. So 3 years. And in a bit, we'll be taking your calls. But, by the way, this episode of the Muddied Waters of Freedom, as always, is brought to you by the Libertarian Party Dad Bod Calendar. Be sure to go to libertariandadbod.com. And for only... there was a Black Friday special for $12. I don't know if that's still running. I have a feeling it is.
I overpaid.
What's that? You did overpay.
I overpaid.
Any good Jew could tell you, Matt. Wait for the downswing. Anyway, I think it's back to 17. But anyway, it's either $12 or $17. You can have this photo and many other photos of the sexiest libertarian men that agreed to be in the calendar. And you can have that for only $17 or $12. And either of those prices, whatever it is, includes the shipping too. This episode is also brought to you by the Libertarian Party Waffle House Caucus, the official caucus of the Muddy Waters of Freedom, and also the fastest growing food service related caucus of the Libertarian Party. Matt.
Are we no longer just the fastest growing caucus? We're now the fastest growing food service related caucus.
I mean, this week has not been as fast as the others, and we already had a pretty solid growth. So I'm assuming no, but really, okay. I don't know. I haven't really asked the other caucus what their numbers have looked like this week. So we might very well still be the fastest growing of the caucus, but I don't know. I don't know, Matt. That's what this show is going to be like.
Oh, good.
So
I've worked 3 years for this.
3 years.
3
years.
Is
the culmination of 3 years of hard work, countless hours of blood, sweat, and tears, and here we are.
And here we are, making Latin suffix jokes.
I mean, it's the culmination of all of this.
It's true.
It is. We've earned this, Matt.
We have earned this. In all honesty, 3 years ago when I was sitting here recording a very, very crappy audio version of this podcast, which if you have the time to go back and listen to 47 minutes of me and my former co-host stumbling over sentences, don't. You would be much better served listening to almost anything else.
Yeah, well, and it's like the same thing the first couple episodes of my show. They were very informative because my guests were very informative. And I pretty much just sat there and was like, yeah, no, that's important. Yeah, no, I can tell, right? And so just don't watch those. Just go with double digits and up for both of these shows. But thanks for tuning in. We get some comments over on YouTube as well. Sarah Branyan said Spike looks like a snake. That's valid. Bass says no malarkey, you whippersnappers, or Corn Pop will come and see you. We got more on that later.
We got more on Corn Pop.
But that's definitely also true. And what's going on? That's what we got so far. And so I guess
Sarah Branyan, you have not wasted 3 years of Tuesdays, because initially the show started out on a Sunday, and then it went to Saturdays, and then it went to Mondays, and then we finally settled on Tuesdays about a year and a half ago.
So you've been wasting
multiple different days.
multiple days.
Multiple
This is
days
slimming.
in the week.
Is this? I feel slimmer.
You look slimmer. You
Well,
look much more
I've lost a few
aerodynamic.
pounds. I am aerodynamic.
You look much more aerodynamic like this.
I'm definitely aerodynamic. This is my future, by the way. Maybe just a little bit of fuzz on top, but this is my future. My maybe 20 year from now future.
This is my future right here.
I know. I know it is, because that's what you've always looked like.
It's
so
true.
Let's get right into it, guys, and then in a bit we'll turn on the lines for your call-ins. Technically, the lines are on now, but we haven't given you the number yet. So, big news out of Norfolk, Virginia, at the top of the show.
Did you misspell that? You definitely misspelled that.
That's not how Norfolk's spelled.
That is definitely not how Norfolk is spelled.
Well, anyway, in Norfolk, Virginia, a bald eagle, birdie, smashed into a tax office window and then flew away. Witnesses thought that they heard something crash, and then they looked over and saw what they thought was a stuffed animal. It was actually a bird who was fighting for our freedoms. That, of course, is the official bird of Muddy Waters Media, pictured right here in the back. That's shortly after he smashed the windows there. He put on his bandana, born on the 4th of July bandana.
Yes.
So that was really cool. I don't really have anything else about that story.
I wonder if that was a Liberty tax.
It was an it was actually an H&R Block, but I ruined your joke.
That's a shame. Speaking of birds.
Oh.
Chick-fil-A swings huge from the other side of the plate, and after they decided to stop giving donations to right-wing leaning organizations,
like the Salvation Army,
the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in the Salvation Army, right. And decides to start giving donations to the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah, that is quite a swing. The SPLC, of course, thanked Chick-fil-A by labeling them a white nationalist group.
Right. You know, every day for a while I checked the SPLC to find out if we had been labeled a white nationalist podcast.
We'll know we have arrived when that happens.
Right, and I every time I'm upset because we still haven't been acknowledged by them.
Still have not. There will be a screenshot from earlier of me wearing what appears to be a skinhead outfit and flashing the OK symbol. And so that should be enough, except I was actually using it as an OK symbol. But that should be enough to get us labeled white supremacists. Especially since I'm wearing dog tags. So that should definitely happen. So good news there from
90s style army fatigue.
Yeah,
we look like we're getting ready to start a militia.
We do. We look like we're planning the boogaloo. If only I had worn I should have worn like a floral shirt. One of my silk button down floral shirts. That would have definitely gotten us labeled something terrible. Speaking of the Boogaloo. Oh, speaking of the Boogaloo, on this past Black Friday, Americans combined bought enough firearms to arm the entire Marine Corps.
That is the most American story ever.
It is on multiple fronts. Not a lot to add to this, other than that's a hell of a lot of guns.
That's a hell of a lot of guns.
That's a lot of guns. Now, they weren't all,
What's funny is this is actually the second time this has happened. This happened last year, too.
Good. Well, they said Barack Obama was the greatest gun salesman by constantly talking about restricting gun ownership and then never actually doing it. I guess Donald Trump's trying to give him a run for his money by doing the same. although he has actually done some restriction, but not a
Actually,
lot.
right.
But yeah, people are going out and buying guns in record numbers. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That's all I want to say.
I mean, we're just going to keep buying guns, I'm certain.
We're going to just keep buying guns, but I mean, whether they actually ever get used, we'll see what happens there. So speaking of... Oh, no, I'm not going to say that. Never. I don't even want to think it again. Speaking of a Black Friday, huh? Joe Biden, if you recall, had a speech that had been unearthed from a couple years back, where he talked about Corn Pop.
Corn Pop was bad dude.
He was bad dude.
Corn Pop was bad dude.
He was a bad dude, and Biden had to put him in his place.
So get down over there. Get down on that diving board, Esther.
Yeah, Esther.
I'm sorry I called you Esther.
I'm sorry I called you Esther, but I'm not sorry that I told you to get off the diving board, or that I'm holding this rusty razor or whatever the hell.
No, he had a chain.
He had a chain.
He had some of the pool chain, like the tied around so he could whack him over the head with it.
That's right. He actually had the maintenance guy cut some of the chain that was needed from the pool. I'm not sure why a pool needs a chain, but it does. Hopefully didn't need that much, because he cut some of it off so that Joe Biden could threaten to put a chain around the neck of a black man in the 1960s. I knew this was not going to stay up. So anyway, that was not apparently the worst. It's just gone now. That was apparently not the worst of that. That was actually the better part of that speech. It turns out it got even better, and now you get to hear it too.
And by the way, I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach into the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
He learned about roaches?
Yep.
I missed that part.
No, he learned about roaches and kids jumping on his lap. And he loves kids on his lap.
He loves those black roaches. He just referred to black kids as roaches.
So here's my thing on the roaches. Like, okay. I'm not going to say that that's what he was doing.
Oh, here comes Matt
defending
I've got
Biden.
85 paragraphs defending Joe Biden.
Right. So we have seen 2 30-second clips out of this speech, and in the rambling manner that he is speaking,
yeah,
I'm assuming there are other portions of this speech yet to come out.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
he might have been talking about roaches before that or something.
Right. That's the only thing I'm not defending him.
Fair enough. No, that's
not
true.
In the same sentence where he said, "I love kids sitting on my lap" or whatever he says.
Bad. Yeah, that was definitely bad. That was bad, and it's true. He may have been talking about roaches separately, but
right.
There's just really there's layers of bad to that speech. Now, of course, not to be outdone by because this is now a 2-year-old gaffe that's coming to light. Not to be outdone by that gaffe on a stop on his much maligned No Malarkey tour.
Malarkey. Joe
Biden decided to chew on his wife's finger.
That's right. His wife Jill was Dr. Jill Biden was giving a speech, and she accidentally got her fingers too close to Joe's face, and he just awkwardly bit down on the index finger, creating one of the greatest memes in internet history.
And she laughed it off because
what else do you do?
I mean, what do? You don't oh my God, my husband's biting me. Someone help, please. I I don't. I feel like he's going senile,
I don't think he's going senile. I think he's just senile.
or has been senile, but
Yeah.
has like moments of lucidity because he does some of like this is not. He didn't hurt his wife. It's not particularly predatory in nature. Who the hell does this?
Right. This isn't this is there's nothing wrong with what he's doing in that photo. It's just it is the most bizarre.
His aides have to be saying to him, "Stop being weird. Stop saying weird stuff. Stop doing weird things. Just please just say Obama, 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 and then get back
Right.
on the damn bus." And
Now, like as Joe Biden's handler, go out there, remember your lines, push Obama, don't sniff hair or children,
right, stop
and don't
touching
bite
children.
fingers. Like these are the four things you need to do to be nominated.
Well, see, they didn't know he was going to bite someone's fingers up until now, so I'm sure that's
Right.
been added. Like, if someone
Yeah, that's
waves their hands near you, please don't bite their hand.
right.
Please. Just please don't. So, yeah, that's Tom Arnold, Liberty Clause Tom Arnold makes a good point. He says a senile president, a win for anarchy. That's actually a good that's kind of a compelling argument. Bass says Joe Biden is the ultimate boomer. Interestingly enough, he's actually too old to be a boomer. He's such a boomer that he's too old to be one. But yeah, no, that would be.
Is he?
Yeah, so boomers are from 46 to 50 something or whatever it is. He just misses the cutoff by like 4 or 5 years. But he's a boomer. We're going to just call him a boomer.
What's the one in between Greatest Generation and Boomer?
I don't think there is one. I think it's Greatest Generation or the Silent Generation or whatever they call it, the World War II. There's like a few names for
If he's
that
part of the
generation.
Silent Generation, he should probably try to stay
Just
silent.
shut up. Just be quiet.
Just shut up.
Yeah, I think
Shut
it's silent.
Like when you get pulled over by the police. Shut up.
Yeah, so from the late 1920s into like around 1945, and then 46 to 50 whatever starts or 61 or whatever it is, 64 starts the boomer generation. So he's right there, and he was born in
42.
Yeah, 42. So he's right before the cutoff, but he's a boomer. We'll call him a boomer. He's a boomer's boomer.
He's a boomer.
But yeah, Tom makes a good point that, I guess that could be good for anarchy if the president just is out to Mr. President, they're revolting. Well, I wouldn't call them that. They look pretty nice to me. Hold on.
We got a couple of comments over on Float. Got a couple of comments over on Float.
Nice.
New listener Finian says, "What's with the dog tags and camo?"
That's invalid.
Well, we're doing
question.
an apocalypse now thing, and I bet a lot of Virginians are buying guns since the state went blue. Not only that, I almost put this in the notes, but I ended up scrapping it at the last minute. Right now, Senate Bill 64 in Virginia, for any of our Virginia listeners out there, will actually make it illegal for anybody to teach you how to fire a weapon. All sorts of the wording in it. The wording in it is training somebody to use a weapon, explosive or incendiary device that could be used to harm people, kill people, or create havoc or something. I can't remember the wording exactly. It will be met with a class 5 felony.
Nice. So basically, like any instructor?
Any instructor could get caught, and they're going to say that they're using it to stop people who probably are dressed like you and me right now from getting together and doing things.
Right.
But they could technically use it on any instructor anywhere to keep them from teaching people how to use weapons safely.
What could possibly go wrong there, Matt?
Nothing.
Nothing could possibly go wrong. Speaking of things going horribly wrong, Liz Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, told a school advocate, a school choice advocate, that her kids went to public school, but it is, of course, well documented that her son Alex went to Haverford, one of the country's most elite private schools. Matt.
Yes. And when asked about the half truth because her daughter did go to public school.
What happened, Matt?
I can't read that line, man. I think my line was better.
All right, we'll say your line.
She said, well, I had half y'all believing I was Indian, so figured you'd believe anything.
That's true. My line was better than that.
I'm not reading that.
I'm not either. So that happened. And not to be outdone on her school mistakes, Warren was also quoted as saying, as you know, in Michigan, charter schools don't have to meet the same standards as public schools. That is, of course, blatantly false.
Yep.
Charter schools are public schools. They have to meet all the same standards. They have additional standards. And because they are charter schools, they can actually be shut down if they don't perform well, unlike traditional public schools. So it's actually the exact opposite of what she said.
Pretty much everything about the charter schools is better than what she was endorsing.
Right. Yeah. So speaking of lines that we won't say, Kamala Harris. Matt, Senator Kamala Harris, senator and up until recently a presidential candidate or presidential contender for the Democratic nomination, Senator Kamala Harris announced that she is ending her campaign for president, Matt.
It was weeks after she was murdered on stage by Tulsi Gabbard
just
at the Democratic debate.
Yeah. Local Hawaiian curb stomps cop in front of national audience.
Right.
And so she tweeted out a link to a statement which says, among other things, I've taken stock and looked at this from every angle, and over the last few days have come to one of the hardest decisions of my life. My campaign for president simply doesn't have the financial resources we need to continue. I'm not a billionaire. I can't fund my own campaign. And as the campaign has gone on, it's become harder and harder to raise the money we need to compete. Now, of course, not a billionaire, Matt, seems to be a reference to former Mayor Mike Bloomberg, who recently announced that he's running for president and is, in fact, a billionaire.
Also could be in reference to Tom Steyer.
Oh, that's true, too.
Who
was
is
famous for showing at one of the debates something like 20 ads that he purchased. It was pretty much brought to you by Tom Steyer.
That's right. That was the one that we premiered exclusively on Float.
Yes, correct.
So our audience on Float got a firsthand experience of nothing but Tom Steyer ads.
Just nothing but Tom Steyer ads.
And CNN ads.
That was pretty much it. It was pretty much Turner Broadcasting ads, then Tom Steyer ads.
Yep. That was it.
Yep.
She goes on to say, in good faith, I can't tell you, my supporters and volunteers, that I have a path forward if I don't believe I do. So to you, my supporters, it is with deep regret, but also with deep gratitude that I am suspending my campaign today.
Yes.
And with
Go ahead.
Many rejoiced.
Many rejoice. So Kamala Harris is someone that I have yet to meet many people that don't hate her a lot. Progressives don't like her because she's a cop, and a dirty cop. Like, she's a corrupt she's a bad cop. Libertarians obviously don't like her because she's a cop. Conservatives don't like her because she's a Democrat. Moderates think that she isn't electable, quote unquote, and she has something to say about that shortly. But so really she just didn't have I saw some people who liked the idea of a black woman running for president, but even they didn't really like her that much. So, yeah. Early on in the race, she was seen as the possible heir apparent to the Obama legacy. Some called her the female Obama. She was a favorite to win the nomination and election, but not after she started the race. Not long after she started the race, she was plagued by her past as an attorney general of California. Other candidates, notably Tulsi and Biden also.
Biden in the first debate, Biden crushed her.
Biden stomped her. This is where people need to listen to me and Matt.
Right.
In the first debate, we said Biden did a lot better than the media is going to pretend that he did. And Harris didn't do nearly as well. The media did everything they could to try to make it look like Harris did so well. It didn't really help her that much in the polls. She got a brief bounce and then went back down. Biden is still the front runner today. So which one of us was right?
Biden, who had a video leak this week saying he likes it when kids hop on his lap
Front runner.
and bit his wife's finger,
Front runner.
is the front runner.
Front runner. So who was right about that? I guess it was us. But so they kept bringing it up, but Tulsi also brought up how she suppressed evidence that exonerated defendants, including one that was on death row. She locked up single mothers for their children skipping school. Their teenage children skipping school.
Kept people in prison past their prison sentences in order to keep cheap labor for California.
Yeah. And just a whole lot of other fun stuff that she did.
Yeah, she torched Kamala on that debate stage.
Yeah. If Tulsi Gabbard has done nothing else, she has spared us a Kamala Harris presidency.
Yes.
And we salute you for that. You've done a great job.
Recent weeks have carried numerous warning signs of her derailed campaign, with Harris abruptly shuttering much of the campaign's New Hampshire operation as the senator focused squarely on Iowa. She laid off staff rather than recalibrating her resources and hoped a top three finish in Iowa could propel her to a win in South Carolina, where she apparently forgot there are a whole bunch of black people who remembered she put a whole bunch of black people in prison.
Yeah, so her whole thing was supposed to be, I'm a black woman. And the problem is, that is a direct appeal to a group of people that know firsthand acutely why you don't trust the police, but especially like a corrupt attorney general. And it just, she never caught on. And it's funny to watch reporters be utterly flummoxed for why black people didn't just automatically support a black woman. And it's like, because she's a cop. That's why. And she's a bad cop. She's not a helpful cop. She's a cop that has really harmed a lot, used her office as prosecutor to harm a lot of people and then laugh about it. There are countless black men in prison right now, and people of all colors, but especially young black men, they're not young anymore, that she has put in for stuff like selling and smoking marijuana, and then she jokes about smoking marijuana on some radio show.
While she was in college.
In the
80s, listening to Dr. Dre.
And Snoop Dogg,
Snoop Dogg. And Tupac.
So that's why that didn't happen, and people shouldn't be flummoxed. She had also recently suggested that her lack of popularity in the contest was due to possible racism. She said, essentially, is America ready for a woman, and a woman of color, to be president of the United States? She said this in an interview with Axios on HBO. She said, there is a lack of ability or a difficulty in imagining that someone whom we have never seen can do a job that has been done 45 times by someone who is not that person, forgetting that Obama is black.
So theoretically, she could be saying that, it's the fact that she's female, because she says a woman or a woman of color. And granted, a woman nor a woman of color have been president. But she was saying this to the woke, all-inclusive Democratic primary voters.
Right.
She wasn't saying that about conservatives. She wasn't saying it about independents. She wasn't saying it about libertarians. She was saying that about Democrats.
Yeah. She was
and
saying,
not even moderate Democrats.
Nope. The ones that are most likely to be involved in the primaries, which tend to be progressives and boomers.
Right.
She was saying that Democratic primary voters are possibly racist and sexist.
Yes. Democratic primary voters.
Democratic primary voters. Racist and sexist, Matt. Speaking of possible Democratic primary voters, there was in the UK, a man.
Jesus.
I didn't say probable. I said possible. Oh, by the way, I guess we can start taking calls.
Yeah.
We'll just throw the number up there, and if you want to call in. Oh, I should probably open up the number taking thingy.
Oh, yeah. I meant to ask you before the show which one of us is handling that side of it.
Yeah, I'll handle that.
So, a man in the UK named Usman Khan. I'm not going to make any assumptions about his race and or religion.
No, certainly not. Not here.
Was wielding a knife as he crossed a London bridge, knifing his way through crowds of people. He killed 2 people in this attack, and he had previously served time in prison for the plot to bomb the London Stock Exchange in 2010, but was granted early release.
That's a sweetheart of a guy.
Sweetheart of a guy. Yeah, killed 2 people. 3 more people were injured, one of them seriously. Now, this is where this story gets very important.
Yes.
For everybody out there.
Yeah.
While this man had his very dangerous semi-automatic knife.
Assault knife.
Assault knife, yes. Yeah. Semi-automatic assault knife. And he was knifing his way across a London bridge, shanking people and shivving them. Shivving and shanking.
Shivving and shanking
all the way across. A group of caterers, a group of the food service industry sprinted from where they were working, arming themselves with fire extinguishers, chairs, and a narwhal tusk to stop this man from continuing his reign of knifing terror.
A narwhal tusk.
A narwhal tusk that the chef, he's Polish, the Polish chef had ripped off the wall of the restaurant. The chef who grabbed the narwhal tusk was knifed 5 times in his effort to stop Usman Khan. Once the knife was dropped, a waiter picked it up and carried it off the bridge safely using food handling skills that I'm certain they were trained on over there. And the police shot Usman Khan, and papers praised the policeman's bravery.
Not this guy. Not the one with the tusk.
Not the Polish chef who attacks this man with a narwhal tusk. No. It was the police who shot him from a distance. So remember, when seconds count, pray to God that there is some disenfranchised service industry worker around you who is willing to die to get out of his shift.
Yeah. Because that's what you know what? I don't want to do this shift. Hand me that narwhal tusk.
Yeah. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Anything I can go out there with that might not get me arrested in London so I can try to stop this guy and possibly I will die. Yeah. And I don't have to finish this shift.
So yeah, members of the service industry are more ready to die for you than your average police officer. So sure.
Please tip accordingly.
Just tip your waiter.
Tip your bartenders. Tip your waiters.
Tip your wait staff. Please. Now, of course, the London police were mortified by the developments on the London Bridge, are horrified by the aftermath of this, and as a result, They have started a mandatory narwhal tusk surrender buyback program to get all of those dangerous, unlicensed narwhal tusks. That photo, courtesy of Babylon Bee. So thank you for that. Guys, be sure to call in. Our number is 813-644-2722. We'd love to hear from you. And we're definitely going to be more likely to hear from you if I'm in the right Hangouts account. So, way more likely.
And and as mentioned earlier, former Republican turned Democrat, New York billionaire,
yes,
who famously said the government has the right to infringe on your rights, had a series of faux pas this week. This would be Michael Bloomberg, by the way, for anybody who thought I was talking about a different New York billionaire who can't decide which party he was on.
We got a call. Okay.
We'll get back to Bloomberg.
This is from... Oh, we have two calls? We have a call 612. Oh,
612. That.
Why is it still ringing?
Jesus, what's happening?
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, Jacob LaBelle, long-time listener and one-time caller.
Jacob.
Second-time caller. Yeah.
Hey, Jacob. Thanks for tuning in. How are you doing?
Oh, great, man. But I have some six.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I can't. I'm in it. Whoever's calling in from 615, we're going to take Jacob's call, and then we're going to take yours. So, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Good God, that's a rather cool call. Okay, so first off, I got a lot of friends in the UK. I'm notice of their ability to obtain narwhal tusks, assault narwhal tusks.
Right.
Right.
Where the hell am I going to get one in Minnesota? I mean, I need this.
Where in Minnesota can you get a narwhal tusk?
I would think they are just all over the lakes in Minnesota, no?
Do you have an aquarium there?
Jacob, we can't hear.
Yeah, you're breaking up a lot, Jacob.
Yeah, you're breaking up. We can't really hear you very well.
I was trying to be funny. You guys go on.
Okay.
If you're looking for a narwhal tusk anywhere, if you have an aquarium, you might be able to find one there. I'm not going to say how you should procure it. That's really on you. I'm not giving you any advice on how to do such things. But
that's illegal in Virginia.
What's illegal in Virginia?
Telling people where they can get weapons.
It's teaching them how to use it that's illegal.
Oh. So if someone tells you that this is how you use a narwhal tusk, call the police.
Right. Well, actually, I believe the proper use of a narwhal tusk would be two hands and forward, like.
Oh, like a almost like a
Right, like you're jousting, sort of, or
right.
Whatever. Like I feel as though a narwhal tusk is going to be too hefty for just forearm strength. Pushing forward, you're going to have to really put your back into it when pushing forward.
Right. Someone call the police right now. So I'm looking at a distribution map of narwhals, and I've got bad news for most of our viewers that are not in Greenland or none of it. Or, there we go. This is a 931 number. 931 area code. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. Is this the Muddy Waters? The Muddy Waters show?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
This is.
Yeah. This is the ghost of Marlon Brando.
This is much better Marlon Brando.
And I'd just like you to know that the impression that you did earlier, it was fine. You did pretty good, I guess. But
Thank you, Ghost of
we're a
Marlin.
long time listener here in the afterlife, and just wanted to let you know that you need to work on the Marlin impression a little bit more.
Okay.
But it's pretty good.
I appreciate
Ghost of
that.
Marlon Brando, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
How is the ghost of Richard Pryor?
He's actually here with me. He's back on the back patio with the dogs. I was doing fine here. It's pretty great here, Richard. Probably get him in here, but he's out there messing around with the dogs on the patio and stuff. But it's great.
Good stuff. I'm glad that
Good
you have a
stuff.
patio and dogs.
Hey, I loved you in The Godfather, Ghost of Marlon Brando.
Well, it's wonderful. I really do appreciate the compliment. The Godfather is one of my favorite movies to
And ours as well.
appear in. The Godfather 2, even though I didn't appear in it, I got quite a bit of money on that. I just decided not to go. and they still paid me the money, so, whatever.
No, that's good. That's good that worked for you.
That makes sense.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, no, thanks. I'm definitely going to work on my you because I have a feeling that our next thing will be Godfather themed. And I already have this bald cap, so I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. You've just got to stretch your mouth out a little bit and stick your tongue against the back of your front teeth a little bit more. If you need any pointers, watch some Daniel Crispin videos. He does a pretty good one.
Good stuff.
From what I understand.
And I now know that well, I'm not sure if you're in heaven or hell, but apparently whichever afterlife you're in has a 931 area code.
Right,
So
yeah.
everyone always says that heaven is in Tennessee, right?
Oh, okay. So is this like a burner phone or?
It's absolutely a burner phone. I'm gonna sling this out into one of the wonderful lakes in the foothills of the Appalachian that we have here in heaven.
Very good. Very good. Thank you again for calling in, and I will definitely work on my you.
Absolutely, I'll continue watching. Hopefully that I can see the continued progress with the me impression. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It probably won't be much better on this show, but thank you. I'm probably in stasis right now in terms of how good my Brando's going to be. It's probably going to be like this, probably for the rest of the show.
That's probably accurate.
So yeah. So
I always knew that heaven was in Tennessee.
we got a comment from Superfan Sarah Anderegg says, "Hi guys."
Superfan Sarah Anderegg.
Superfan. Got that superfan status. Said,
right.
"Hi guys, I'm so proud of both you. Also those costumes though. Thank you. I'm taking that as a compliment." I'm assuming that's a compliment.
It is.
I spent several minutes on this ensemble.
Superfan Sarah Anderegg is the most positive person who watches this show. She would never say something in jest.
Oh, we had a call, but they gave up.
They hung up on us already?
They hung up. They did this. They got anyway, narwhal distribution, guys. Unless you're in the far north, you're not going to find a narwhal in the wild.
Right.
So your best bet is to go to a museum and steal one.
Right.
Which is illegal, so don't do that.
Potentially different restaurants, probably seafood themed.
I would hope.
Right. Be really weird on the wall of a steakhouse.
Like a rib place. Like, what's that? That's a narwhal tusk.
Probably not going to be at your local Chili's.
It's probably not. Like, why is there a narwhal? This is a Chinese buffet. Why is there a narwhal?
Why is there a narwhal tusk here?
A narwhal tusk at the Chinese buffet. So bad news for them. Yeah. So let's see what. So yeah. So speaking of narwhal tusks, former Republican turned Democrat Mike Bloomberg, Matt.
Mike Bloomberg. Yeah.
So he had some fun stuff that happened this week. He ordered Bloomberg Press, which he owns. He owns Bloomberg News and Bloomberg Money, and it's part of the Bloomberg agency. He ordered Bloomberg Press not to cover him or any of the other Democratic candidates in a negative light. This prompted President Trump, to ban all Bloomberg Press members from his events. Not sure if that means his.
I don't know if that's White House
rally.
events. I know it's campaign events. He's not. They can't show up to any campaign events. I don't know if that was a part of the White House press corps.
I mean, honestly, he has a good point, because so here's what happened. The Bloomberg editor-in-chief John Micklethwaite said in a memo to Bloomberg's nearly 2,800 reporters and staff, he said, "We will continue our tradition of not investigating Mike and his family and foundation, and we will extend the same policy to his rivals in the Democratic primaries. We cannot treat Mike's Democratic competitors differently from him." John Micklethwaite. Not his Democratic competitors.
No, not his Democratic competitors. You won't hear a bad word about Biden, Bernie, Buttigieg, Beth, Elizabeth Warren.
Oh,
I just want to keep with the
okay.
bees.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Booker.
Booker.
Boy, a lot of bees in there.
Barry Ann.
Barry.
Gabbard. But if
Matt
you're a go ahead.
Matt Hicks is asking how he gets the egg timer. Matt Hicks, all you need to do to get the egg timer.
$49.99 to Muddied Waters of Freedom at gmail.com on PayPal.
On PayPal.
You get this amazing. It doesn't work.
Or you can do anchor.fm, and for a very low 5 easy payments of $9.99 a month, you could have that after the 5th month.
Not 1 month before either.
No, we need the entire.
We need the entire payment before we give you this non-working egg timer.
That's right.
With a sticker, and the sticker is attached by tape, so you can actually apply it.
Is
to
that double-sided tape or just regular tape that you folded?
It's attached by tape, and so you can actually use this. You could use this somewhere else if you want to, and you have an egg timer. And if you're, an egg timer repair enthusiast, you could have a working egg timer for the low price of 5 easy payments of $9.95.
Muddied Waters of Freedom at gmail.com on PayPal. Yep.
Absolutely. I will literally mail this to you. I swear to you. And not just you, Matt. Anyone.
For $149, he might deliver it to you.
If you live in South Carolina for $150, I will bring this to you.
Wearing the bald cap.
And
showing a nipple.
I will show you a nipple, and I'll kiss you on the forehead. These are all things I will do. What's that?
And ride your donkey.
If you have a donkey, I'll absolutely ride it. That is my solemn promise to you. And if you live in South Carolina, there's at least even odds that you have a donkey.
Yes. $49. Yes, $49. Matt Hicks.
Right to the Gmail.
Bloomberg, not to be outdone by himself. At a campaign speech in somewhere, you really think I would have written that down, stated that we need to disarm minorities to keep them safe.
Yeah. Yep.
Bloomberg claimed that, and catch these numbers because these were what he said, 95% of murders fall into a specific category: male, minority, between the ages of 15 and 25.
95%.
95%. Cities need to get guns out of this group's hands and keep them alive.
Nice.
These kids think that they're going to get killed anyway because all their friends are getting killed. They just don't have any long-term focus or anything. It's a joke to have a gun. It's a joke to pull a trigger. This man is polling at 6%.
Yeah. Mike Bloomberg pictured here pointing an assault weapon at the chief of the New York Police Department is under the impression that 95%, which is a really impressively high number.
That is a really impressively high number.
Of murders are carried out by black men between the ages of 15 and 25. So that means of the other 5%, some of those are just older black guys. So we're talking a good 97 to 98%.
Right.
That Mr. Bloomberg, Mayor Bloomberg, thinks that
the former mayor,
the
Bloomberg.
former mayor, now
Billionaire
thankfully,
Bloomberg.
You know, when Mike Bloomberg got into the race, I said, "Oh, thank God! Finally, someone who can buck the stereotype that Jews don't own the media and are trying to take over the country by just buying it." Thank God that people know that old yarn isn't true. I was thankful for that, Matt.
Yes. And then he decided to use his media to help push his agenda. The media he owns.
Yeah.
To help push his agenda in order to attempt to get him into power, in which he immediately blamed male minorities between the ages of 15 and 25 for 95% of murders. 95.
That's some I'm just trying to picture if Donald Trump, who we're not fans of by any stretch of the imagination, but here's another liberal New York billionaire. If he got out there and said, yeah, 95% of murders are being carried out by black men, young black guys, because they think it's a joke. I have to feel like Bloomberg News would cover that, Matt.
I have a feeling that would definitely be covered.
That would definitely be covered. And then when Mayor Bloomberg got up and said, yeah, that's right, they just stopped covering it immediately. They just immediately stopped covering that. Let's look at the comments here. Matt Hicks says, money sent, I want my broken egg timer. Which amount? Did you send the me bring it to you amount? Wait. I don't have that login.
No, he'd sent money. Matt Hicks sent us $49. Oh, he didn't send $49.99. $49 is good enough.
I'll go. Yeah, we can eat the 99 cents. Okay, so I will literally. I'll mail this to you.
Yeah, you can have the official broken Muddied Waters Media egg timer.
And gang, you too can be as lucky as Matt Hicks.
That's right. For the low price.
Newly crowned super fan Matt Hicks.
Right. Apparently $49 is where we're bottoming out on this.
I'm good. Special sale. Black Friday sale, $49.
You too can own your own broken egg timer with a Muddied Waters sticker taped to it.
It's possible that it works, and I just don't know how to use an egg timer.
To work an egg timer?
That's possible.
That would make me so happy.
There's at least a 40% chance that I'm just not properly using this egg timer. I want to believe.
But for anybody out there who wants a potentially broken egg timer.
Let's be optimistic. A potentially working egg timer.
True. But we have been advertising it as a broken egg timer.
That's true. Hey, you won't. So, guys, this is like the infomercial where they go, but wait, there's more. It might actually work. We don't know. You know, the pessimist says that the pessimist says that the broken timer The egg tie. There we go. Thank you for saving me. Let's see. 615 area code. 615 area code. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello.
Hi.
This is like the infomercial where they go, "Oh,
Is this Spike?
it might actually
Yeah,
work."
if you can turn
off your
if you can mute your computer. So,
Okay. Will do.
This is
All
Liberty
right.
Club.
And who's this?
This is Tom.
Hey,
Tom Arnold.
Tom Arnold. Liberty Claus in the house. Thanks for tuning in. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, guys. How are you?
We are doing amazingly. We're doing that much better now that you've called in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
honored to have
good.
you on the show.
Well, good. I wanted a couple of comments. One,
Sure.
Kamala Harris still has $13 million in her campaign account.
Oh wow. So that should fund her Senate runs for quite a while.
Yeah, for about 20 years or so if
Yeah,
she wants
yeah.
it. And the other thing is, you need to get a hold of McAfee. McAfee can get you the damn narwhal tusks.
Oh wow.
I
That is
mean,
true.
can't you see John jumping on the back of a narwhal, riding it down, cutting the tusk off in the middle of the ocean, and then to relax, he has sex with it, right?
Right. After a long day of cutting off a narwhal tusk,
He's gonna have
there's
sex
love
with
to
it.
it.
Yeah,
Right. Which,
yeah, that works. It's perfect.
That is
It is.
perfect. I will be sure because I've been in regular contact with Mr. McAfee. I will reach out to him about narwhal tusks. See if
Yes. And all I need is about 3 foot because I want to make a walking stick. Then I'll be prepared all the time. See?
Oh yeah. So not like an assault 6-footer, but like just something manageable that you can walk around with, get into the bar, and if someone gives you a hard time, you give them a couple sharp pokes.
yes.
That's right. That works. That
That's
works.
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah,
So we will
So-
definitely let him know that.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Mike Bloomberg saying that almost 100% of murders are carried out by young black men?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Robert Byrd, former dead Senator Robert Byrd, is excited that another Democrat could, and a New York Democrat
A
via
New York Democrat.
Massachusetts could actually be wearing a white hood,
Yeah, a Jewish. How far have Jewish people come in this country, Tom? That not only can we rise to the richest, but we can be the most racist of the Democrats running. I think it's a
That's
proud
right.
day for Jews everywhere.
Yeah. I'm sure that that would be a perfect stance for Jews everywhere. Now they can claim Bedford Forest, and Robert Byrd is their idols now. See, so
Bedford Forestine, absolutely.
yeah,
Bedford Forestheimer, famous Jew, Nathaniel Bedford
Forrest.
Forestheimer.
yeah. Well, exactly. Famous Jews. That's exactly right.
The
Robert
Jew-
Bernstein.
Robert Bernstein, famous Jews throughout history. That is perfect. Was there anything else you want to tell us, Tom?
No, except I miss you guys, and I hope to get to see. I know I get to see you. I don't know if I get to see Matt in 2 weeks, but
Well,
anyway,
we will see.
so-
Yeah, we will see. Oh, and guys, I gotta promote that. Yeah, we will see if Matt will be there, but I will definitely be there, and I absolutely
Good.
can't wait to see you. We love you, and thank you so much for calling in.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks.
You
Bye.
too. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you, sir.
Famous Jews throughout history. Robert Bernstein and Nathan Bedford Forestheimer. Huh. There's one for you.
Tom Arnold is, in my opinion, the true king.
Oh yeah.
He is the true king of the libertarians. That guy, he is funny. He is genuine. He is classy. And he looks like
I
Santa.
can't. Yeah, I don't get enough. I can't get enough of Liberty Claus. Like, I mean, that's literally why I'm going to Nashville.
in a couple weeks for the Libertarian Party of Tennessee event, is almost all of it is just to see Tom. I absolutely love him. I can't get enough of him. So yeah, I know he's the best. Dave Jones says Forrestine Gump. Yes. Forrestine Gumpberg. Another famous Jew. Here we go. Let's see. Okay. 612 area code. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, just real quick. Did Liberty Claus just tell me I can literally get a narwhal tusk from John McAfee?
Well, he said, so there's a possibility, Jacob, that we can. And his theory is that if there's anyone out there cutting off narwhal tusks, it's definitely John McAfee. And he's probably having sex with them too.
All right, we definitely need to get this guy in the loop.
That's on my list of things to do this week is to get in contact with John about getting us all some narwhal action.
Definitely a bulk narwhal tusk distribution opportunities.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, especially because, they're currently, from what we can tell, still legal in the UK, and I want to get in on that before that loophole gets closed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's definitely some money to be made.
Yeah.
Could you imagine trying to get that through TSA?
Yeah, well, it's come through TSA. We're going to have to ship it over to the Chinese and then get it through alternative distribution methods.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's well, and like Mike Bloomberg said, 95% of all narwhal tusk massacres are carried out by young black men.
Right. Because they're the easiest scapegoat besides the Jews.
Yes, correct, and the narwhals themselves.
Right, and the narwhals themselves.
Yeah. Have you guys ever actually? So I used to work for Sprint. Oh shit. Did you guys see the Sprint commercial with the narwhals swimming in the ocean?
No. I have no
Okay.
Did they kill anyone?
No, they're just awesome. They're narwhals. They're just swimming in the ocean. They're really awesome.
Well, we'll definitely have to check that out, especially if there's no violence, because we abhor violence on this show. I do know that, I think I know this, that for a long time, narwhals were considered a legend like unicorns until they found one whenever they found it. But now I don't know if that's true, actually.
That's very well
Yeah.
true.
I'll link the full video to Muddied Waters.
Yeah, please do, because we want to share that with everyone after this show. We want them to watch that.
Okay, I'll look it up. All right.
Thanks.
Take care,
man.
guys.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. So I'm feeling good about this narwhal opportunity, Matt.
I'm feeling really good about this narwhal opportunity. Former monkey crooner Dave Jones said that he also has a locker, for anybody who doesn't know. Said that narwhals are on McAfee's campaign shop right now. So I'm trying to find his campaign shop to find out if says he's got t-shirt, bumper stickers, narwhal tusk.
He should. That's really.
If anybody's going to do it, it makes the most amount of sense.
If anyone was going to do this, it would be John McAfee. And he's going to have the market cornered because, again, it's really hard to find, unless you're up in the Arctic. That might be where he is, actually. Because, I know when he contacted me, when he was on the show last week, he was, he's on the lam. We don't actually know where he is. But he could be in the Arctic. That's not unfeasible. Because he has a boat.
And the added benefit is he will be able to have sex with the narwhal once he detusks it. Right.
Although, again, I talk now. Narwhals are smaller than most other whales, but something we talked about is the fact that if something that big in its natural habitat too, because I mean, they get around the water better than we do. If something that much bigger than us and that much stronger than us in a natural habitat of theirs that is not our natural habitat doesn't want to have sex with us, they're not having sex with us.
No.
We might die, but no sex is being had. Because they don't want to.
There will be zero sex had between you and the narwhal, unless the narwhal wants it.
That's what I'm saying. If the narwhal wants it, tusk or not, I mean, maybe that makes it more likely for you to survive the encounter, whether it wanted it or not. Because that's something to talk about. What if you wanted it, but it still has a giant tusk on the front of its head? You could still die just in the throes of passion.
True.
Which, if for
it's
no
like a
other
girl
reason,
with really long fingernails,
like a
Poor guy.
really, really long, pointy fingernail.
Right.
That's bigger than you.
Yes.
And very sharp. Yeah. So
third host Jason Lyon is in the comments section.
Noted non-top fan Jason Lyon.
A non-top fan Jason Lyon is in the comments section. He says, "Hey, it's my second favorite Cohen." I'm assuming he meant a comma and Matt, because there's no way I'm a second favorite Matt.
Well, right now you're my second favorite, Matt, because the other one bought a broken egg timer for $50. But in fact, Matt said my current favorite Matt said, "I'm feeling pretty good about my Schrodinger's egg timer purchase." Yeah. Who was your first favorite Cohen?
I'm gonna guess your wife.
Oh.
Since our favorite
she's
lion
my
is
favorite
Kelsey.
Cohen too. Oh yeah.
Sarah Brannion. Yes, there is a St. Pete Libertarian group. It's the Libertarian Party of Pinellas County. I was at one point the vice chair of said group. You can find them on Facebook at the Libertarian Party of Pinellas County, or the LPPC.
LPPC, shout out to LPPC.
LPPC.
In the house.
They don't like us much on this show anymore. But
I can't imagine why.
Feel free to reach out to them and say that you found them from us.
Jason. So Jason says, "Me and your wife bond over zoo animals." That's fair, because they both are really into lions. My wife, because she's had a lifelong fascination with lions, and Jason, because his last name is Lion, and that's not even mildly cliche. There we go.
Hi, Jason.
There we go. This is a 727 area code. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, it's Sarah Brannion.
Hey.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey. Okay, I really just want to know how come the local Pinellas County Libertarian Party doesn't get along with you guys?
Uh-oh.
Okay, so here's what happened. Back in 2017, there was a man that was running for governor of the Libertarian. He was running for the nomination of the governor of the Libertarian Party. His name is escaping me because that's how inconsequential. Randy something, I can't remember. And we published an article about how terrible of a candidate he was, because we're known for doing that to libertarians. You know, we did it to that Nazi goat-eating guy, and then we did it to the guy that ran for governor named Randy Weissman, who was an awful candidate who ended up dropping out well before it was time. And they told us that we were never allowed to publish anything on any of their pages ever again, and threatened us with different sorts of action. And so I said that's because at the time they were just inconsequential, because we were no longer involved with them.
And they don't like me because I'm friends with Matt.
That's right. But Sarah.
All right, well, I don't want to join him anyway.
No, you got to join in now. No, we have things to say.
Sarah. I have had these sitting on
There's
my
ex-
desk for you. I don't know
Do
if you
what?
can see them or not. I have had these sitting on my desk for you. These are gift cards from the Libertarian Party that you asked for like a very long time ago.
Yeah, I'll have to come by the Kava bar.
Yeah, just shoot me a message, and I autographed each one for you just as you asked.
Nice.
That's really exciting. I actually have one more question. I think I've asked you before, but no one ever answers me. How does the Libertarian presidential candidate get picked? Like, do we vote in a Libertarian primary? Should I be changing my from Democrat to Libertarian in order to do that?
No.
Okay.
Or yes. So, okay. The way the Libertarians do it is they don't have a primary. You have to be selected as a delegate and then go to the national convention, which this year is in Austin, Texas, as a delegate of the Florida Libertarians. And then there, the delegates select the president and the vice presidential candidates. It's not they select the president and then select the vice president, and then the president picks his vice presidential candidate. The Libertarian delegates select both.
Yeah, and so the Libertarian, the Florida, so if you wanted to, you would have to join. It doesn't really matter what your registration is for your state, I don't believe. It's just you have to be a member of the state party and the national party. And this year it is on February, or next year it's on February 21st to February 23rd. And it doesn't look like they have a actual... Like, they don't know yet when that is. Like, they or they don't have like a location or whatever yet, which is weird. But so yeah, so I mean, if you were really interested to do that, then that's how you do it. But no, there's not a primary. Each state is proportioned delegates based on a combination of how much of the national membership is from their state and how many votes for the last Libertarian presidential candidate came from their state. And they use this formula to figure out. So like South Carolina has 17 delegates and Florida has, I'm certain, more than that.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think we have
Sounds like the Electoral College.
It's even worse. It's actually how parties, it's how both the Republican and Democratic parties used to pick their candidates long ago before they switched to the system that we all pay for their private group to have elections. So as arcane as it is, it also saves taxpayer money because they're not forcing every state's electoral system to, to allow them to pick their candidates. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's how that's done.
It's very libertarian of them to save the taxpayers money.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for letting me call in. Shalom, all that.
Shalom, and happy Shabbat Shalom in advance.
Shabbat Shalom. Goodbye.
Sarah Branion, just so everybody knows, she has been actually listening since day one. She meant that. She has been one of the original listeners who has stuck with us through everything that we've gone through at Muddied Waters Media, and has probably listened to more episodes of this show than we have.
Definitely more than me.
Definitely more than me.
Dave Jones says Liberty Clause, Vermin Supreme, and Muddied Waters all in Nashville, December 13th through 15th. Sounds like a party. The ghost of Marlon Brando may show up too. I certainly hope so.
That would just be fantastic.
That would just be a cherry on top of that already delicious. There we go. This is 360 area code. Thanks for calling in.
Why, hello there.
Hi, who are we speaking with?
This is Matt Hicks.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I sound different because I'm stone cold sober right now.
Oh, see, that's
I was wondering. I was wondering why you sounded
your voice.
You had like a Barry White thing going on.
Yeah, you sound super sexy. My favorite, Matt. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty fantastic. This college thing is for the birds. I'm kind of over it, but I'm almost done. So, what are you gonna do?
Well, you're in your triple mastering right now, right?
Double major with a minor and a specialization. Close enough.
That sounds like I'm going to call that triple mastering. That's what I call
triple
mastering.
You're triple mastering on a minor.
On a double major.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we're going to call from now on. My professors will be pleased when I tell them that in school tomorrow.
That you're triple master?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, tell them that an actual media personality told you that you're a triple master.
I'll plug your page and everything.
Thank you, please. Yeah, please actually quote me that I'm a triple.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to cite you in a paper.
Please do.
Please.
I need to be cited. Then I get my blue check mark. And that's what this is all about.
Fun story from when I was wasting tons of money that I didn't have at college. I one time wrote a paper and I cited the paper I was writing in the paper because I couldn't find anything to back up what I was stating, and I needed to have a citation for it.
Did it work?
Yeah, I put the paper online. I put it on like Google, and then I cited it.
Ooh.
And I cited the paper, impressed. And I never got dinged for it. So either it worked or my teacher didn't actually read that paper.
That is a bold strategy that seemed to have played out for you.
I'm not even mad at you. I'm proud.
I'm not mad either. So Matt, what are you up to, Hicks?
I'm just hanging out, smoking cigarettes, and thinking about this whole narwhal sex thing, man. I got some thoughts I want to get out there.
Yeah, please let us know what your thoughts on narwhal sex.
Yeah, so putting aside for a moment the idea of narwhal bodily autonomy,
right?
Let's assume that I'm not going to do that to the man. Let's just assume that any human male decides he's going to detusk and have intimate relations with a narwhal.
Right.
Would the narwhal even notice? I mean, you spoke at length about the size difference. I mean, I don't know if the narwhal would even feel a thing. It would be pretty similar to throwing a hot dog down a hallway, I would imagine. Assuming that you could pull it off, because I also have to believe that narwhal orifices are watertight, but I don't know any of this for sure and for certain.
So it would be like throwing a hot dog down like a very large pool filter.
Well, I was thinking more like a hallway, but yeah, we'll go with pool filter. Why not?
But like a big one.
But it's got to be watertight.
Uh-huh. So would the narwhal notice? That's the question I think we need to ask. I don't know why we need to ask it, but I feel like it needs to ask.
We definitely need to ask it.
No, this is actually really important. So would you be more, I was about to say like dry humping, but I don't think that would qualify for
it's definitely underwater. A wet hump.
Yeah, this was going
to
be
I mean, it could qualify as dry humping, assuming that this man leaves his jeans on.
Valid, but is the narwhal going to be outside of the water? Because even if you're in jeans, there's still going to be at least a moist hump.
Is this narwhal missionary sex where it goes on its back and starts doing the backstroke as this is happening? Because then that would really be more
definitely
of a
not going to be
hump.
Narwhal on top.
Well, did you guys just hear that sound? That was my mind being blown, because these are things I hadn't even thought of yet.
Well, I mean, we're doing this in real time, Matt. Like, really, we haven't. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought of this a little.
Narwhal sex tonight, but
so
we're here.
I guess my answer is that the sex, I don't know if it's going to feel it. The cutting off of the tusk, I feel like it's going to be aware, because it's happening. Well, because it's happening right in front of it, because it's like literally right there. It's not like a unicorn where it's up here. It's like it's like in their vision. Now, will they feel it? Will they feel it? That I'm not sure how that works, because it's bone. It's exterior bone.
Right.
I don't know if
that's not true. It's a tooth. It's actually a tooth.
Do narwhal tusks
aren't teeth
have
bone?
Nerves?
It's a tooth. The narwhal tusk is actually a tooth that grows out of its mouth.
Yeah, and it's filled with nerves.
So let's get past the detusking part for a second. I don't pretend to know what narwhals are into, and they may really get off on that. I'm not really clear. I don't know. I've never asked a narwhal. I've never met a narwhal to ask.
We're not going to kink shame narwhals, no.
I really was hung up on whether a narwhal would notice penetration by a human.
I have to say no.
I'm gonna say I would think. Well, I mean, do they have a blowhole?
They're cetacean, so I would think so. Just like a dolphin or any other whale. They're not a fish.
Right, that's what I would imagine. So depending on which orifice you are using, yes.
I just Googled, do narwhals have blowholes? And Google's answer is narwhals are whales. You moron. It didn't say you moron, but it it didn't even bother answering it. It just was like, well, they are whales, schmuck.
Yeah, the moron part was implied.
Yeah, the moron part, I felt the moron part.
Right.
So this is a direct quote from John McAfee. He said, because, I was caught up, I'm a wholesome boy. And when I heard sex, I thought, vaginal copulation as a wholesome, godly man would when talking about bestiality. And
I would expect our sweet summer boy to make that assumption.
Right. Well, I'm currently an autumn cherub, but yes. And so, he kind of blew my mind a little when he said, well, I'm not even talking about vaginal. He said, everyone gets caught up in whale vagina. He said, I could have talked about having anal sex with a whale and no one would have said anything, which I'm not sure is correct, but I think you've made or I guess Matt Wright did, that we could be thinking this could be blowhole sex.
Because I think that would be kind of like the oral sex of the water mammal kingdom, I would imagine.
I mean, like, we're really broadening some horizons tonight, guys. I got to tell you, this is some groundbreaking stuff happening.
Okay, so a blowhole can reach 20 inches in length.
But we're more concerned with diameter. Let's be real here. Yeah. None of us are hitting the back, right? None of us are bottoming out. So let's talk about the diameter.
You speak for yourself, Matt Hicks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, buddy, you don't know what I'm carrying. Yeah, no, none of us are 20.
Hold on, one of my dogs just lost his mind.
We're all of these people on the internet are pretending that they're not thinking the same thing, and they go, "Oh, the length is 20." What's the diameter?
What's the average diameter of a narwhal blowhole? Like
blowhole diameter. This is my FBI agent is shook right now. Decibel.
I wonder if our FBI agents have gotten together yet. Like if they.
Oh yeah, we're on a watch list right now. I'm telling you, this just put us on a watch list.
Can you fit a baby inside a blue whale's blowhole? A baby. These people are being very slick with what they really want to ask. They're not worried about a baby. We're not finding reliable information, Matt, but we are definitely going to continue searching this until
this search is not over.
Until Sled comes to my house and with some questions about why I want to know so much about blowholes.
Well, here's what I'm prepared to do for you. Being a college student has one benefit to it. I currently have access to a lot of databases filled with scholarly research, so I'm going to do some digging and get some measurements, because now I need to satisfy this. I'm not going to do it tonight because, frankly, I'm lazy, but I'm going to do it.
Oh, Sarah Brandon has a good question on YouTube. She says, do they stretch at all, or is it a fixed diameter?
See, this brings up the whole thing I thought about. Like, they have to be watertight in all their orifices at some point, so I would think there's like a sphincter-type muscle involved.
Oh, so this could get good.
Yeah. A lot of weird stuff happening tonight.
See, now guys, I feel dirty because now this feels like something that could actually be enjoyable. Whereas before it just... It actually, before it just sounded like a good way to die. And now it's more like a good way to have fun and then die.
Yeah, well, you just got to remember consent is key.
Yeah, and you're probably going to die either way.
He has a really good point as well. How can you miss the obvious? Have sex with the narwhal horn hole after removing the horn. Like, remove the tusk and then, do the old in there.
It's really hard, though.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to, gentlemen, I just wanted to provide some enlightenment, some food for thought, and provoke a controversial conversation.
Which
you
did.
I think I've succeeded.
You absolutely did. You absolutely did. Thank you so much, Matt, for tuning in. Give our love to your wife and the donkey.
I most certainly will do both of those things, and I'll message you later and give you my address because I want that damn egg timer so bad.
Oh, you're getting it. You're getting this egg timer.
You're getting the egg timer.
You're getting the hell out of the egg timer, so definitely do that. I'll talk to you soon.
I want that egg timer $49. That's how bad I want it.
Well, good. You're going to have it. You're literally going to have it.
All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Super fan Matt Hicks.
Matt Hicks.
Guys, if you want that kind of treatment from us, give us $49. Anyway, so we've learned a lot, Matt.
We have definitely learned a lot.
I thought we'd learned a lot in the 3 years of doing this show, but I feel like we've learned almost as much just on this episode.
I keep Googling narwhal information.
Yeah, no, we definitely are looking like there's something wrong with us asking about that. But I just want to know now. But you're right. It has to be airtight. So its diameter is kind of irrelevant.
Does it have to be airtight, or could they
This is definitely going to get me a visit. Are narwhal blowholes watertight?
Right. Because you jump in the water and your nose isn't airtight.
Narwhals, like other whales, are able to close off their blowhole. The skin that moves up to close it acts as a watertight. Oh, so it's not like it has skin that goes over it, almost like a lid. So that's not going to be good. So guys, a little bit of disappointing news. If you were thinking of having narwhal blowhole sex, anatomically, that looks like it's not going to be pleasurable for you.
Although, if you do carry a pocket knife, I don't know how thick narwhal skin is.
Yeah, I mean, now you're just being... Well, I guess if you were cutting off a tusk, which is its tooth, you're already being pretty rude to this thing.
Right.
But like Matt Hicks said, we don't want to kink shame narwhals. They might like it.
They may be into it.
They may be into it. But I mean, here's a good rule of thumb. If you come at a narwhal with a pocket knife and it kills you, then it didn't want to have sex with you.
And we saw what how a narwhal tusk does against a knife. Narwhal tusk win.
You lose. Yeah, that's a perfect example.
Narwhal tusk win.
Yeah, narwhal tusk beats. So that's actually the original version of rocks, paper, scissors was pocket knife, narwhal tusk. And it turned out it wasn't really a good game because everyone just went with narwhal tusk every time.
Right.
And so they had to change it up.
Speaking of rock, paper, scissors, I was playing rock, paper, scissors earlier today with a 3-year-old. And he was a little cheating 3-year-old.
What'd he do?
So, he's like, okay, you 1, 2, 3, shoot. And I was like, okay, so we were doing 1, 2, 3, shoot. And he would see what I did on the shoot. And then he would always go rock. And then he would change it.
Oh no.
Yeah. He thought he was being slick.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to see. I would say I don't want to play this game with you because you're not doing this in good faith.
Right. And so I told him he was cheating and then he got upset.
That's a good way to deal with that. The best way to play it in good faith is to look away from each other and then look.
True.
And then look.
Casey Neff, mega fan.
Mega fan Casey Neff.
Is mega fan bigger than super fan?
I don't know. Oh no.
She said this sounds like a prime candidate for the Yape app.
I don't know.
Spike, perhaps.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what that means.
Perhaps you don't know what she could be referring to with the Yape
I don't.
app.
The narwhal, not the 3-year-old. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying because.
Thank you, God, for clarifying. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I have no.
Then how do you know it's thank you, God, for clarifying?
Well, it sounds.
Come on, Adam Schiff.
That's funny. Yeah. No, yeah. Jason Lyon asks, this was a while ago. Oh wow, these comments are just
I bet these comments got really good during that.
This was these comments were good. Jason Lyon asks, first time listener or long time listener, first time question asker, what constitutes as living your best life? So in my mind, living your best life is having Jason Lyon send you bitter voice messages in your DMs.
And for me, living your best life is also living your worst life simultaneously because you're just living your life. So it is both simultaneously your best and worst life.
Is that like a stoic thing?
Sure. Yeah.
It just sounded kind of Buddhist-y.
Yes. Me, King Buddhist over here.
The king of the Buddhists.
King of the Buddha.
I would have had you as more of an Epicurean, but that sounded awful stoic / Buddhist-y.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, you cannot live your best life and not your worst life at the exact same time.
Almost a hint of cynicism.
Now, cynicism, that I buy.
That I can see you being a cynic.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what
James
this
Lyon,
show...
how do I obtain my second favorite Matt's autograph? I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
You would have to ask him. Dave says that's what she said. I'm not sure.
That came in at the end of the Narwhal Tusk with Matt conversation with Matt Hicks.
I'm sure.
Not sure.
Marlon Brando was living his best afterlife. After I stopped impersonating him, that's true.
That's true.
That's true.
That's
because that was true. I spent over an hour on that, and it did not get better.
Mega is greater than super because super prefixes mega. Truth. All right. Thank you, Bass. That's a good point.
That is a good point. That is a good point. Mega is greater than super.
Yes.
So are we prepared to say, are you prepared to say that Casey is a bigger fan than Sarah?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I am.
I'm not.
You know what? I'm not either, but for different reasons.
I don't think that Casey has the fortitude.
She's not built for it.
Casey doesn't have the fortitude to put forth the extreme dedication to Muddied Waters Media.
3 years.
3 years.
This is what this show has become in 3 years. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
This
is us now, guys. Seriously, though, thank you to everybody who has been watching us for any amount of time over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And for everybody who continues to watch us, listen to us, pay any sort of attention to us, really, after 3 years of us doing this.
And after this.
Especially after this.
Especially after this. Thank you so much.
This honestly, this has been a sort of a dream come true to be able to do this show with Spike, who's, I just noticed his Marlon Brando head blends in perfectly with the wall behind him.
Oh, does it?
Really well.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but
It's not perfect, but
it's close. It's pretty close.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we had, we've been floating that a big surprise is in the works in a couple weeks. And we've been giving totally useless clues each week to give you a clue as to what that could be. And the clue this week is The Price is Right. The Price is Right.
What was the clue last week?
Legalize cocaine.
Yes, that's right.
These are not going to help you. After the fact, you're going to go, oh, that's what that was. That's so stupid. I can't believe they did that.
Right.
Now, no help at all.
No help at all.
Put it this way. If you're able to successfully guess based on that, then I'm scared of you. That's what you win, is my eternal fear.
Right. And on the bright side is you only have one more show to get through before that announcement.
That's right. One more show where I will give yet another utterly useless clue. Next time that I use this as a prop, which, let's face it, is probably never, I'm going to secure it a little bit.
We may do Saving... No, I can't even think of a Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Spikey. Let's actually do that. I just want to come up with more reasons to wear this cap. Not even necessarily on this show, just in general in life.
I was going to say, if we're doing a Saving Private Ryan thing, would you be Vin Diesel then?
Yes.
Okay.
I would definitely be Vin Diesel.
I call Matt Damon.
Okay.
Or Ed Burns. Actually, Ed Burns was cooler in that movie.
Who lived through it? It was just Ryan. It was just Matt Damon that lived through it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Or no, Tom Hanks lived, right? No, he died.
Tom Hanks definitely died. Spoiler. Sorry for anybody who hasn't seen Saving Private Ryan.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert on Saving Private Ryan. Tom Hanks is killed by the German that he convinced everyone to let go earlier.
Yeah, because he grabs Matt Damon at the end right as he's dying, and he's like, "Earn this. Be sure you earn this." And then it flashes to Matt Damon as an adult, and he goes, "Did I live a good life?" And his wife goes, "Yes, sweetie," or "Yes, honey, you did."
So just total spoiler alert.
Just yeah, you got the end.
Ending alert. Don't bother watching it now. That gives you 2 more hours to watch Muddied Waters of Freedom.
That's right.
You're welcome.
Let me spoil a couple other movies for you.
Ask us about a movie. We'll spoil it for you, and then you can watch the Muddied Waters of Freedom.
Bruce Willis dead the entire time.
So speaking of
Darth Vader, Luke's father.
Yeah. The Rosebud
was the sled.
Was the sled, and also an analogy for a vagina.
Oh, that wasn't in the. That was what's his name called his wife's vagina.
Also a spoiler.
I mean, that wasn't in the movie.
No, but I'm spoiling that too.
You're spoiling the movie on the making of the movie?
I'm spoiling I'm spoiling every aspect of Citizen Kane, including its making.
Now, here's my issue with Citizen Kane. Greatest movie ever made, blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
Orson Welles dead, by the way.
Orson Welles, very dead.
Alert.
Last movie he was in, Transformers.
Dead.
The animated one, back in the 80s.
Yep. Dead.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
When Citizen Kane died at the very beginning of Citizen Kane, he famously says "Rosebud" as he drops his as he drops his snow globe, and then the nurse runs in, right? Nobody was in that room. Nobody was in that room. They didn't have cameras. They didn't have audio. But yet everybody wanted to know what Rosebud meant. Nobody was there.
Oh, wow.
Nobody was there to hear him say his final word, Rosebud.
Oh.
Greatest movie ever made.
Greatest movie ever made. Built
Masked
on...
plot hole, minute one.
Well, at least they made Titanic, huh, Matt? That was a good one.
Titanic is the worst movie to ever win Best Picture. It is the worst movie to ever win Best Picture. It is emotionally manipulative. The storyline is stupid.
I have to hear this all the time.
The storyline is stupid. Billy Zane, perfectly good. Perfectly fine mate.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine leading man. Did he have a problem with poor people? Yeah, but it was, the 19 teens. Of course he did.
I mean, back then, associating with poor people could get you typhoid.
True. And what was so awful about him? What was so bad about him? He got mad that his slutty fiance was hooking up with a street urchin in the bottom layers of the boat, which I should know the names of those things, but I can't think of. Yeah. Okay, good. Not just me. She's hooking up with a street urchin in the bottom layers of the boat who suddenly becomes the love of her life that she's never going to forget. Of course, she does go off, get married, have children, have grandchildren, have great-grandchildren. But no, Jack's always in her heart. And she's been carrying around this $98 million necklace or whatever the crap it was, the heart of the ocean, for what appeared to be 175 years before she just drops it,
throws it away
into the ocean. Don't worry about your kids, grandkids, great-grandkids' futures. No, just drop that right into the ocean.
Drop it in
just
the
like
ocean.
and just scoot over on the door, please. Just scoot over on the door. I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go. Jack dies, breaks his thumb, lets him sink. You didn't let go for a whole 2 minutes. What is wrong with you?
Oh yeah, I'll never let go.
Rose is a piece of shit. Rose is just a piece of shit. Rose is the worst person, worst female lead
Jack's
in any
fault.
movie.
Yeah, can we just... so it's not... Jack wouldn't have thrown it away. Oh, Jack, I love you so much. F you, my family's future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she held on to that in secret for... Okay, that 1913 till that movie came out in 1990.
Like 80 years. She just sat on this freaking massive jackpot and said, yeah, take me out on the boat so I can go throw it in the sea.
Right,
How
so I can
romantic.
go throw the legacy, the love of my life that I knew for a whole 4.5 days before the boat crashed.
Oh, that's right. They didn't even know each other that long.
No, they met each other on the boat.
Garbage movie.
Garbage movie. Awful movie. If you can name a movie that won Best Picture worse than that and beat me in a debate on why it's worse, I will concede and say you're right. You won't find one.
And I'll give you one of these egg timers. If you can do that. You got to pay shipping, though. We're about to find how much it costs to ship that. Probably not much.
Yeah, I was going to say a couple bucks.
$5 box, yeah. Yeah, terrible movie. So, Matt, anything you want to tell our fine folks?
Ursula is not the bad guy of The Little Mermaid.
Oh, wow. So we're just breaking all the paradigms.
Yeah. Ursula had a legally binding contract. And it's legally binding because when the oligarch father tried to destroy the contract, he couldn't because the laws said, no, this is legally binding. So instead, he just murders Ursula.
He just killed her.
So he just kills her.
And there was another whore that she did all this because she wanted to break up an engagement of a guy she saw.
She disobeyed her parents, broke up an engagement of a guy that she saw on the beach, hoored herself out, signed a legally binding contract, and then when she had to pay up on it, she had her father kill the person the contract was with.
Yep.
It's like a Prince Andrew situation.
It is like... It's even worse because there's some level of bestiality. I mean, we're talking about narwhal sex.
Right.
Like, that's
this is like
bad.
legitimate narwhal sex.
We're talking about, like, consensual narwhal copulation. This is like contract fraud, murder, alienation of affection, and bestiality. Thanks a lot, cultural Marxism.
That's Disney.
Thanks a lot, Disney.
Disney failing to enforce contract law, which is weird because Disney's real big on copyright infringement.
Often to us.
To us.
So
a whole new world. Whatever.
Yeah, whole new world of lies.
Oh wait, that's Aladdin.
Part of that world. You want to be part of that world of whoring.
Of the bipedal whoring.
Bipedal whoring.
Guys, she was tired of the fin whoring. She wanted the bipedal whoring.
She was sick of being a fin whore for John McAfee.
Well, in all fairness, I could probably understand that.
So guys, thanks for tuning in for this incredibly special episode of the Muddied Waters of Freedom. They're only going to get better after this.
Yeah, this is the most interesting anniversary show we've ever had.
This is definitely that, and it's only going to get better.
Yes.
I have an episode that I recorded with Lou Sander when he came right here to Muddied Beach Studios, which is my home, my guest room in my house. And I've been so busy that I haven't actually edited it so that I can put it up for you to actually see. But at some point, I'm going to do that. I just don't know when.
Also, real quick, we talked about it last week. I'm going to see if I can scroll up to the comments on Float, on float.app.
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 Yeah.
There it is. Tomorrow, the Florida Clemency Board is meeting. And Michael Edwards, who is a friend of the show's father, should have been on the list of people that they were looking at.
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't. So I am going to... The next Clemency Board hearing is in... I think it is in May. And... Phew. So I am going to... I put in the comments the link to the change.org petition for Michael Edwards. Right now, I helped them out, and I got in touch with somebody who knows the Nikki Fried's, what is she? Why did I forget what Nikki Fried is? The agricultural person. I got in touch with somebody who knows her dad, who is going to see if she will put his name on tomorrow's Clemency Board hearing. And so hopefully we don't need to worry about this much longer, but sign this petition.
Yeah,
sign this
please
petition.
sign
He has
it.
been in jail way too long for a non-violent crime. He's been in jail since 1993.
For bringing cocaine to his ex-girlfriend or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just an absolutely absurd charge and period of time.
1993. Still in prison.
Yep. Imagine what you were doing in 1993.
Many of you probably
Many of you were not even alive, but imagine if you can even remember back as far as 1993. what you've done since then and imagine being in prison instead because you gave cocaine to someone that you knew. So be sure to sign that petition.
Yeah, sign that petition. Again, I just put it into the comments. We'll put it into the show notes of this show.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, again, to everybody who's been watching us for the last 3 years or over the course of the last 3 years, watching us, listening to us, following us on our various social media accounts like Facebook at facebook.com/Muddied Waters of Freedom or Instagram at Muddied Waters Media. Whoop, man, I messed that up. Facebook.com/Muddied Waters Media, Instagram, Muddied Waters Media, Twitter at Muddied_Waters, at float.app/Muddied Waters Media, Anchor at anchor.fm/Muddied Waters, or at muddiedwatersmedia.com.
Where you can find this in every other episode.
But thank you to all of you for your continuous support of this show. Literally, Spike and I do this for you guys because, I mean, we could just do this. Right, we could do this exact thing without streaming it.
We could just do this, which we often do.
Right, which we do.
But if you guys keep buying these, this could get lucrative. If we sell 10 of these per episode, which I believe we can, we'll be really cooking with gas then. So that's something to think about.
We're buying egg timers in bulk.
Why do you need all these egg timers? Leave me alone.
Don't worry about it.
How about mind your business? So guys, thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to tune in whenever I drop my interview with Lou Sander. That'll be fun. I'll let you know when I do by doing it. And then be sure to tune in next week for a even better episode of the Muddied Waters of Freedom, where Matt and I will be parsing through the week's events like the sweet autumn cherubs that we are well known to be. And then after that, be sure to tune in later on that week for a very special Muddied Waters exclusive. Super surprised that I'm super excited about. That's kind of unreal, but it's happening. Be sure to tune in for that. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you soon. And where we're going,
we don't need roads.